Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. What game is my ex playing now? Original post. My, male 47, ex-wife, female 48, left me a year and a half ago for a guy who was married to her high school best friend, some friend she turned out to be. We had been married 20 years and had what I thought were 2 children together, but I recently found out that my 6-year-old daughter isn't mine. She's his. She knew this from day one of being pregnant and kept it from me, and it's my name on the birth certificate, and I do intend to fight for custody as this has been my daughter and the certificate is a legally binding document. She might not be blood, but that is my daughter. Clearly this affair has been going on for some time. Finding out was a kick in the teeth. When I asked her if it's him or me, she said it's him. Why? Because he can get it right back up after doing it and go again. That's the only reason. Bedroom fun. Forget the fact that I worked 2 jobs to put her through school, and continued to do so she could stay home and raise our kids, and cheat on me. I gave up pursuing my dreams and music career for her, so that she could pursue hers and have a family. They have been the #1 thing in my life. My ex has always been a cold woman. She's bipolar and life wasn't always easy. Her outbursts and physical and emotional antics were soul-crushing, but I endured it because I thought she couldn't help it. Turns out, that wasn't entirely true. She admitted to friends that she often hit me because she felt like it, or wasn't getting her way. My kids had witnessed on several occasions her striking and verbally mistreating me, and each time I took it without fighting back, and hating my kids to witness this. At one point towards the end, she was angry at me for not taking the trash out the moment I came home, and grabbed me by the neck and started squeezing, while my son stood horrified watching. I told her our son will always remember this, and she let me go. I should have left long ago. I know this now. I'd like to think that if not for my children, I would have. But I didn't want them to have a broken home, and held on to the hope that someday my wife would go back to being the woman I fell in love with. I know now that those days are dead and gone, and have been for years. After everything came to light, my wife sat down with her friend whose husband she was cheating with, and told her point blank, "Yes, it's true. No, I'm not sorry." And then my wife got up and walked away. I was told this by her friend. My wife left, took the kids and moved in with him in an apartment behind the one we shared. Even then, I held on to the hope that she would see the grass wasn't greener with him. He had cheated on his own wife several times besides with my wife, and she knows this. I waited that entire first year waiting for her to come back. She kept the apartment keys, and I assumed she was still holding on to them because she knew she would come home. But at the end of that year, they began their cruelty again, with him constantly dropping by the bus stop as I was putting the kids on the bus for school, and telling me, "I've come to see my daughter off to school." "Not your daughter, mine." I told him, "Then why were you so content for the past 5 years to let me raise her to have my last name, let me be there at her birth, and raise her as mine? Where were you? Why is my name on the certificate as her father instead of yours?" That almost earned me a punch to the face, and it did earn me to a drunken visit by the both of them at the end of the night, because he showed up to fight. My ex then decided to make everything public, going on Facebook and bragging about her new boyfriend. Our friends were shocked and reached out to me and his wife about it. I made sure to grab all the screenshots I could. She doesn't seem to care about the hole she's dug for herself with our upcoming divorce. Then again, why should she? I already got her with the paternity test. At the end I became self-destructive. I kept wondering what could I have done differently or better. She blamed me for not being around for her, but if I wasn't working 2 jobs, how could we have survived? I didn't clean when I got home because I was too tired, and she's screaming at me about trash when our kids have colored on all the walls, tore down blinds, put holes in the wall under her watch. But the not taking out the trash after working 16 hours was the problem. The worst part was that I wanted my family back so badly, I was believing it was my fault. It took a while to see the truth of it all. All that changed with my brother. He was determined to get me to play in his band, and even though I declined, he insisted that I meet the other members and decide then. That changed everything for me. I still declined, but I struck up a friendship with them and ended up casually dating a friend that the rhythm guitarist introduced me to. I quickly fell in love with this woman, 45, and it was a relief to be in a loving relationship with someone that wasn't a 24/7 screaming match that usually ended with me getting hit. Now throughout this time, as I've stated, my ex still had the keys to our apartment. She would occasionally let herself in and drop off stuff for the kids. The first time she let herself in and my new girlfriend was there, did not go well. She called me that night asking me who she was and why was she in our apartment. I enjoyed telling my ex that my girlfriend was none of her business. She moved on and left me and was living with someone else. The last few months, my ex has become erratic over my new girlfriend and has even begun to stalk her. My ex had sent my girlfriend a Facebook friend request and demanded my girlfriend to accept it. When my girlfriend refused, my ex called me screaming that I need to tell her to accept it because she needs to see the kind of person my girlfriend is, that I'm having our kids around. My girlfriend grabbed the phone from me and told her that she does not need to add her as a friend. Anything involving communication about the kids can be done through Messenger or through phone calls. That my ex does not and will not have access to our private life, friends, and family because she is not part of my girlfriend's personal life. This didn't set well with my ex. Later, my girlfriend showed me the sudden burst of friend requests she got from people that had my ex as a friend. My ex then started letting herself into my place every weekend and when I wasn't home at work to snoop around. I was on the phone with my girlfriend who was staying with me while I was at work to hear my ex walk in and girlfriend ask her if there was something she needed. My ex claimed she wanted to see how much milk I had in my fridge for when the kids came over. My girlfriend told her we had it handled and my ex left. When I got home, I demanded the apartment key since she's not living there. She then took my son's keys and made copies for herself. When my lease was up, my girlfriend asked me to move in with her so that we could distance ourselves from my ex. My ex did everything she could to hinder this, calling the police and telling them I was leaving with her belongings. And when asked what was hers, she couldn't name anything in my place that was left that was hers. Now we get the kids every other weekend, and I was told by my children that they are not allowed to talk about what they did with me because she doesn't want to hear it. That didn't last long. Now she pumps my kids for all the information she can get. I'm sure it's jealousy. We live on the beach. My girlfriend is very well off. And when we get the kids, we take a short walk to the boardwalk to ride rides, let them play on the beach, or visit the aquarium. If they return home with prizes, my ex throws them away. Now the issue with my ex was that the last few times she dropped off my kids, I noticed she now dresses and looks very similar to my girlfriend. She dyed her hair and cut it to match her. Whatever we do with the kids, my ex runs out the following week and tries to do the same thing with them. If we got to the beach, she takes them to the beach. If we go to the zoo, she takes them to the zoo. If she finds out what we had with them for dinner, she has to make the same thing and demands our kids to tell her whose they liked more. Last week my son asked to live with us because he said my ex was crazy. You better believe I'm using all this in court. Just when I didn't think things could get any crazier with her, the other night she starts texting me private photos. What the heck? My girlfriend was sitting next to me when they started coming in, and I immediately got defensive and told my girlfriend I didn't ask for them and that my ex and I aren't talking like that. I offered her my phone to go through to see for herself. My girlfriend looked at the pictures and asked for my ex's number so she could text my ex her own pictures back so that she could show her how it's done. I called my ex and asked her what the heck she was doing. I told her that my girlfriend was sitting next to me and saw the messages and is angry. My ex tried saying she meant to send them to someone else. My girlfriend said to her that my name was on one end of the alphabet while her boyfriend was on the other. Then she asked her who's the new guy since it was meant for someone else. My ex hung up. I really don't know what game my ex is playing. This is all just crazy to me. Edit, let me clear up a few things, because the comments keep coming back that as if I'm still living there. 1. My girlfriend did not send her own pictures in return. That was just her verbal response to what my ex had done, saying that she should show her how it's done, because the pictures were of my ex with her shirt off making duck faces at a mirror with her phone in her hand. My girlfriend simply made a joke in regards to my ex's lack of imagination. 2. I do not live in my old apartment that I shared with my wife anymore. I have moved in with my girlfriend because despite me taking the keys back from my ex, she took my son's keys and used those to keep breaking in. She does not have access to my new place and my kids don't even have keys for this reason. 3. I'm currently fighting for custody of my kids and it's not easy with me not being the biological father of my daughter. But I'm fighting based on the birth certificate having me listed as the father, which gives me parental rights to my daughter. 5. My ex was prescribed medications, but I'm having serious doubts if she's taken them. 6. I check my kids for bruises and make sure they are not being maltreated. But she made the mistake of getting physical on her boyfriend, and he punched a hole in the wall and let her know if she raises a fist on him again, he's fighting back. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. From what you've described here, your ex is a few French fries short of a happy meal. Quite honestly, she sounds dangerous. You should talk to your attorney and see if there is any kind of restraining order you can take out on her. Yes, yes, and yes. Also, download a co-parenting app to use with her to discuss the children, and then block her number and her profile on all social media sites. You don't want to mess with crazy, just walk away from it. Your ex is stunned beyond belief that you were able not just to move on, but to move on with someone who is better than her. She probably thought that you'd be on the hook for life, so that she always had a backup plan in case her relationship with a fair partner goes south. Good on you for not letting her run your life. Also, if I may, I'd suggest getting a co-parenting app for communication, and only do communication through that application. Then block her and a fair partner on all socials. Good luck, my friend, you have this. You know there is no cure for bipolar disorder, right? She did you a favor. Sounds like you are living your best life. Insist on a co-parenting app for communication and block the crazy ex everywhere else. I'm trying to live my best life, but I am haunted by it all. I just want this divorce over with and to get my kids away from her. It's going to take a long time to heal from it all, and what I have now is almost too perfect and I don't feel like I belong here at all. And I feel horrible for everything I'm putting my girlfriend through with this hell. I feel like I dropped a bomb on her life with my crap. And she's been a lifesaver through all this by taking me in and changing her life around to make room for me and my kids. I feel like I destroyed her life with my issues. The best revenge is a life well lived, bro. I see you taking your revenge and I love it. Do not, under any circumstances, allow your girlfriend to send her pictures to this person. It may have been a funny idea in the moment, but your ex would definitely post them everywhere she had the chance to and use it to harm your chances at custody in some way. Your best bet is to end all contact with your ex, except via a parenting app. She is malicious and you need to limit your exposure to that. That was just my girlfriend's response to that. My girlfriend chose to be humorous about it instead of flying off the handle, which shocked the heck out of me. I was expecting her to accuse me of trying to get my ex back, but she handled it with a joke. First update. So through a paternity test, my daughter is not my daughter, but the child of my ex-friend who is now residing with my ex. This past weekend was my daughter's official 6-year-old birthday. It was not my weekend to get the kids, and as a shock, my ex asked me if I wanted the kids for my daughter's birthday. Of course I took them. I was even granted them an extra 2 days. I figure they had some plans and were pawning the kids on me so they could go do whatever. But the thing that strikes me is that this is the first time that he can celebrate his daughter's birthday, and instead of doing something special as her father, she's given to me and my girlfriend. Anyone else think this a tad messed up? He's a disgusting degenerate who had a child with another man's partner, so don't make the mistake of expecting him to suddenly start acting like a responsible adult, after he's already gotten away with acting like scum for so long. His friend's partner, let's add to the list. That poor girl will be subjected to lousy parenting by most of the adults in her life. Document this disinterest if you decide to revisit custody. Document. Keep a log of the time she is with you, not just the days or hours. Start time and end time each day. You may never need it, but if you do need it one day, you'll be super glad that you kept records. My ex left my daughter with me significantly more time than our parenting plan specified, to go see her boyfriend in another state. Later on, she took me to court to get permission to move to the other state to be closer to her boyfriend. When the judge took a look at my log of how much time I had been spending with my daughter over and above the court order, he increased my parenting time permanently and reduced my child support. I didn't even ask for that. Really glad I kept track. My ex was furious. Interesting, are you still considered her legal father, and do you pay child support? Also, if you haven't already, consider using a co-parenting app with the ex so that incidences like this can be logged. You may want to revisit custody as the child ages if this sort of behavior continues. I'm glad to hear that you are in another relationship. Any plans for marriage or children? I am. It is my name on the birth certificate, which alone is another crap thing my ex did. She knew I wasn't the father and had me believing I was. A birth certificate is just as binding as adoption papers, so I am still considered her father and currently fighting for custody. As for the new relationship, marriage could be a future possibility. She is definitely more grounded and set in her morals than my ex and has made my children her top priority. My kids love and bonded with her, and my son has taken to opening up to her more than me or my ex. I was a little upset about it at first, but I get it. She's not a parent and can provide a response to him that is more focused on him and not making him feel like he's in a parental tug of war. I'm glad he has that. As for us having children, she's unable to have any. Now for the second update. Just an update, but I have to shake my head at this. Saturday night I received an angry text from my ex saying that she hopes I'm happy that I won. I know I shouldn't have engaged in the conversation, but I asked what her problem was. She answered with a response that made no sense and then proceeded to tell me to go ahead and gloat. Gloat times 10 because something happened to her, and then she proceeded to accuse me of being in on it. I asked what I'm supposedly in on. Instead of a direct answer, she went off on me about how all men are pigs and can't be trusted. From this I gathered two things. 1. She's drunk off her butt again. 2. The prick she left me for cheated on her. I didn't say anything. When she's like that, any response is a fight, and I chose to not get into it. I just read the texts and thought that she got exactly what was coming to her. She left me for my friend who was married and had cheated on his wife 3 times, with her being number 3. And when I brought this up as she was leaving me, she told me, I know what I'm getting into. I guess she thought she was the end-all to his wayward ways. When she ran out of insults to fling at me, she shifted her attack to my girlfriend, telling me she's ugly as heck, and I could have had any girl, but I chose someone ugly to replace her with. My girlfriend is stunning both inside and out. My ex is also extremely jealous of my new girlfriend. And as I've mentioned in older posts, my ex had taken to stalking my girlfriend and trying to change her appearance to look like her. The attack continued with my ex telling me that I don't love my new girlfriend, and that it's impossible for me to fall in love with the first woman I sleep with after losing her. My ex and I had been apart a year when I met my now girlfriend. It took some time for me to feel comfortable trusting someone again, and that trust was earned and not given easily. She then followed up by claiming that I only love her because I lost my apartment, and that I'm kissing my girlfriend's butt for a place to live. As she so interestingly put it, it's only love when you're homeless. I had my own apartment across the street from my ex-wife because she decided to stay in the complex to flaunt the fact that she left me for my friend in my face every waking minute. When my lease was up, I decided to move in with my girlfriend and relocate my job there. I know she was trying to provoke a fight, and I just wasn't giving it to her. When I thought my ex's attacks couldn't get any more stupid and childish, she proceeded to tell me that she's sorry she wasn't enough for me. I wanted so badly to call her at that moment and scream it was me that wasn't good enough for her, that she left me. Or did she forget which of us walked out the door, and which of us walked out the door replacing the other with someone else? She left me for a married guy that had cheated repeatedly on his wife. Real freaking winner there. She then went on the attack on my girlfriend again, saying that we both know that she, my ex, was who I wanted to be with. That my girlfriend couldn't compete or hold a candle to her. At that point I had enough and asked her to contact me when she's better and sober, and turned my phone off. Hours later, when my girlfriend came home, she asked me what was wrong. I warned her that she was going to get mad, and I handed her my phone and told her to read it for herself. She read it and just laughed herself off and handed me back my phone, and said, "Looks like he cheated." I said it seemed that way, and proceeded to try to reassure her, thinking the ugly comments might make her question me. They didn't even faze her. She told me that my ex's narcissist ways really come out full-blown when she's drunk, and bet that my ex was upset that she couldn't come to me for a revenge to get back at him. I have yet to hear anything else from my ex. My guess is, as usual, the next day, she looked back at those texts and saw what she did and feels stupid. I'm also betting she's back with him because she can't stand to be alone. I'm so glad your girlfriend laughed at this. Good woman. Massive improvement. My girlfriend is surprisingly level-headed when it comes to things. It's refreshing but still an adjustment. I'm so used to my ex's explosions that my girlfriend's calmness throws me. Mate, I feel this on a deep personal level. The current girlfriend, when we have an argument, will be like, "Babe, sit down, let's talk this out." While the ex, who lied, manipulated, used me for my money, cheated, gaslit, and committed DV against me, would freak out, explode into a rage, or shut down and run away whenever I said or did anything that she decided she didn't like at the time. With the new girlfriend, part of me is like, this is nice, but what's the catch? It's amazing what you learn when you get with someone more stable and rational. To say I'm not banged up from my previous relationship is an understatement. I'm trying to untrain myself from this, but it's work. Fights with my ex were full-blown blowouts, with her punching, spitting, and verbally telling me she wished I would just croak. A fight with my new girlfriend is the opposite. She wants to talk and understand. Then she explains why she feels a way, and gets why I feel the way I do, and offers compromises. Sometimes we argue, but in the middle of it, she will laugh and say we need to take it down a notch. Let's take a minute and think about it and come back to it when things are calmer. I will admit, the angry flare is mine because I'm so used to fights with my ex, and I react the way I needed to when I was with her. It's work and a lot of trauma cleansing to go through.